If you were to ask me, this brand new Cadillac ELR is quite simply one of the, no, make that the best looking car that Cadillac builds and one of the best looking cars that GM builds. It is just spectacular. It looks like it's moving when it's standing still. And I'm going to take it for a quick spin. And that is coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. What makes the ELR such a stunningly beautiful car, in my opinion, is that it's the ultimate expression of Cadillac's design language, from the front, from the side, even from the rear. It just looks like it's chiseled out of one piece of granite. And that's as it should be, because this, of course, is an electric gas hybrid, and it can go up to, give or take, 30 miles on electricity alone. The ELR shines both on the inside and on the outside. Sitting behind the wheel of this car, I feel that I'm getting every penny of my $76,000 base price. It's elegant, it's stylish, it's comfortable, and of course, it is expensive. But I feel that that is money well worth spent because it makes you feel special. The ELR, and I'm sure you know this, is based on the Chevy Volt or the Opel Ampera if you're in Europe. In this form, the combined output is 207 horsepower and 295 pound-foot of torque, which is 58 horsepower more than the Chevy Volt, which also means that when you get on the gas and you're using both the electric motor and the gasoline generator, it's a little bit more fun to drive. Of course, all that power is fed through the front wheels. From a design standpoint of view, this car looks like it's a rear-wheel drive car, but it's front-wheel drive. So let's take it for a ride and see what 295 pound-foot of torque does to the steering and the ride and handling of this car. You know, there are not a lot of electric cars to choose from, especially at this rarefied altitude of price. The Fisker, which is now defunct, and of course the Tesla Model S. So while this does compete with other electric cars, let's face it, it's kind of in its own little category. And I think that's going to change because as people find out that electricity is a perfectly fine and perfectly usable way to power a car, it's quiet, it's actually much cheaper, especially if you charge it up overnight. Cars like this are going to become much more popular. So I think we're at the beginning, at the very beginning of electric cars. And there's not a lot of compromises you have to make with a car like this because you have the gasoline engine when the battery power dies so that you can drive it across America like you would a regular car, or you can go home and charge it up and take it to work. As long as your commute isn't more than 30, give or take, miles, you'll never need to put a drop of gasoline in this vehicle. There we go. Now you can probably hear what I'm saying. There are indeed 4 different drive modes that the ELR has: Tour, Sport, Mountain, and Hold. And it defaults to the Tour, which is basically the everyday driving around town Let me turn this fan down a little bit so you can hear what I'm saying. There we go. Which is basically the driving around town, keeping it nice and gentle and comfortable mode. Now in tour mode, everything is leisurely, everything is comfortable. In sport, obviously, things get faster, the steering becomes more aggressive, the shocks firm up. In mountain, it lets you climb up mountains, and in hold, you can actually turn off the electrical portion of the car so that you can save it for when you get home into the city, or save the battery life for when you need it the most. Now, I'm in tour mode, and I can tell you it drives very well. It feels like a European car. It's dampened in such a way that you can tell what the wheels are doing, but yet at the same time it doesn't beat you up. Of course, it doesn't have that old school American wallowy ride. All right, so let's see what happens when I give it the beans, huh? 295 pound-foot of torque when you combine the output of the electric motor and, of course, the gasoline power plant, because that's how this car does work. It's just like a Volt. There's no real connection between the gasoline engine and the electric motor. The gasoline engine basically powers the battery, which then powers the motor, which then gives you this kind of acceleration. And there's 60. You know what? I wouldn't call it exceptionally fast, but I would call it spirited. On the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I'm going to say, I don't know. I've only had the keys for about an hour, and this is a quick spin after all. You know, you can think of it as a luxurious Nissan Leaf, or perhaps as an affordable Tesla Model S. You know what? That's not fair. The ELR is its own car. It's stylish, it's distinctive, and it's fuel efficient when driven electrically. So I'm saying, if you're looking for a car that won't make too big of a dent in the Earth's environment, this is an exceptionally good choice. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more views, news, and reviews. Ciao. All right, there we go, 9.24. I thought it was faster than 10 seconds. Yes, yes, now we're talking.